Hi there, this is Abhilasha Sharma and you're watching my channel Abhilasha Read With. Okay, so first and fast, thanks a lot for watching my video, for giving me 7 subscribers because I was not expecting, I don't fly on high hopes. So you guys keep me grounded, but you guys gave me hope. So because of that reason, this is my third video and I hope that you're gonna watch this video as well for the acoustics. Okay, why exactly you should watch this video? Let's just do that first. In today's video, I'm going to cover Socrates, Adler. So because of these two name of from philosophy and psychology field, you should cover it. So you should watch my video. Then are you just okay as you are? That's another chapter. And the book that I'm covering is The Courage to be Disliked, which is another amazing book. So because of that particular reason, you should watch it. And you should watch it just because I find this fact very weird. I find this fact very weird that we are watching videos of people to read with us, and they are not reading. They are just pretending to read. They are just on a couch and they're just lying down. And then I don't feel like reading. I do feel sleepy. And I do not want to feel sleepy. I do not want to sit in a couch. I am somebody who sit on a table and then read. Couch is comfortable too, if you can read on that. But read with me. I want to hear you reading. So if you're reading, that's great. And that's the reason I'm creating this video in which I actually read. So if you don't want to hear me out, you can always mute me. And if you want to hear me out, then I am reading with you. And you're going to have somebody who is actually sitting down for complete 1 hour. This video I'm going to sit out for 3 hours. And for 3 long hours I'm going to read with you. So no matter if you are not having the motivation to read any damn book, you can just, look at your screen and you will find Abhilasha reading. And that's it. Abhilasha is my name. I already told you, and I think now you must have remembered my name. So this is my third video. Please give it so much love. I'm dying for some love, and that's the reason I'm creating this video. And I do believe that you guys are amazing people, and amazing people do some kind things, and just do a little bit of kindness and give me some subscribers, and I will create better videos. I will give you better books that you have never heard of. I will give you those books. If you are interested in philosophy, I will give you those books. If you are interested in reading those books which are famous, but you want to read Socrates, you want to read Plato, you want to read Aristotle, and you don't want to read their books, but you want to read their documents that they have created in their lifetime, their articles they have written, or whatever the hell they have created, I will read that with you. If it is in Latin, I will translate it in English and I will read. But for to do all of that, you have to give me some sort of support. You have to be there for me so I can be there for you. You have to care a little bit about me. So just give me a little bit of views. Do not give up on me. I'm here for you. I'm going to read with you. If you're having problem with pronunciation, you want somebody to listen to English and then just talk to, I'm here. Because in between reading I start speaking, right? And I'm speaking directly to you. And if you want, you can be in your kitchen and you can just keep on responding to me. Okay, Abhilasha, you know what? That's point you said. I just do not agree with you because I think that way. And that's going to be your way to practice your English. So if you want to do that, you can do that. And see, I read these books because I'm an advocate, and these books help me in getting connected with my clients. These books help me in understanding their psychology, from where my clients are coming. No matter, see, I'm a corporate lawyer, but yet I need to connect with my clients, and that happens when I am able to understand from where their psyche is coming from. And we are 4 minutes in, and I hope I have sold you this book, sold you this video, and you're going to be there with me. Just be there with me. I'm going to give you value. That's my promise. It is my promise to give you value, but has to be your promise to just stay stuck It's not stuck, just to stay with me. You're not stuck here, you can always leave. So yeah, I'm new to this. This is just my third video, and I will improve, and I'm gonna make it cute for you. Let's start reading, because this whole video is about reading and I want more people to read. That's my agenda, to make more readers in this world. So going forward with that agenda, let's start reading. So what we are reading, let's get clear. We are reading The Courage to Be Disliked. It's an amazing book from Ishiro Kishimi and Fumita and Koga. So Koga and Kishimi are really great writers, and they have written this beautiful piece. Okay, let's start reading. Youth. There are two characters here. The two characters, one character is philosopher, another one is the youth. And the youth is talking, and the chapter name is Socrates and Adler. And the youth is saying, "Alright, let me tell you about another friend of mine, a man named Y. He is the kind of a person who has always had a bright personality and talks easily to anyone. He is like a sunflower. Everyone loves him and people smiles whenever he is around. In contrast, I am someone who has never had an easy time socially and who is kind of wrapped in various ways. Now you are claiming that people can change through Adler's teleology." Philosopher: "Yes, you and I, everyone can change." Youth: "Then do you think I could become someone like Y from the bottom of my heart? I really wish I could be like him." Philosopher: "At this point, I'd have to say that's totally out of the question." Youth: "Ha! Now you're showing your true colors. So you are going to retract your theory." Philosopher: "No, I'm not. Unfortunately, you have almost no understanding of Adlerian psychology yet. The first step to change is knowing." Okay, so Adlerian psychology is something which says that you can change. All you have to do is get detached from your past. In our head, we think that our life goes because of some cause, something, because something has happened, there's an effect in our life. Cause and effect relationship keeps on going in our life. But Adlerian psychology says that that's not the truth. If you can get detached from your past, that's not going to be your truth. You can make anything out of your life. And following that, the philosopher says, "No, I'm not. Unfortunately, you have almost no understanding of Adlerian psychology yet. The first step to change is knowing." Youth: "So, if I can understand just something about Adlerian psychology, can I become a person like Y?" Philosopher: "Why are you rushing for your answers? You should arrive at answers on your own and not rely upon what you get from someone else. Answers from others are nothing more than stopgap measures. There is no value. Take Socrates, who left not one book actually written by himself. He spent his days having public debates with citizens of Athens, especially the young, and it was his disciple Plato who put his philosophy into writing for future generation. Adler too showed little interest in literary activities, preferring to engage in personal dialogue at cafes in Vienna and hold small discussions groups. He was definitely not an armchair intellectual." Youth: "So Socrates and Adler both have conveyed their ideas by dialogue." Philosopher: "That's right. All your doubts will be dispelled through this dialogue, and yet you will begin to change, not by words, but by your own doing. I do not want to take away that valuable process of arriving at answers through dialogue." Youth: "So we are going to try reenact the kind of dialogue the Socrates and Adler carried out in this little study." Philosopher: "Isn't that good enough for you?" Youth: "That's what I'm hoping to find out. So let's take as far as we can. until either you retract your theory as I bow before you, or I bow before you. Philosopher. Okay, let's go back to your query. So you would like to be more upbeat person like why? Youth. But you just rejected that and said it was out of the question. Well, I guess that's just how it is. I was just saying that to give you a hard time. I know myself enough. I could never be someone like that. Philosopher. Why not? Youth. It's obvious because we have different personalities, or yes, you could say dispositions. Philosopher. Youth. For instance, like life surrounded by all these books, you read a new book and gain new knowledge. Basically, you keep accumulating knowledge. The more you read, the more knowledge increases. You find the new concepts of value, and it seems to you that they change you. Look, I hate to break it to you, but no matter how much knowledge you gain, your disposition or personality isn't going to basically change. If your base gets skewed, all you haven't learned all you have learned will be useless. Or yes, all the knowledge you have acquired will come crashing down around you. And then the next thing you know, you will be back to where you started. And at the same time, Adler's ideas, no matter how many facts I may try to accumulate about him, they are going to have an effect on my personalities. Knowledge just piled up as knowledge until sooner or later it's discarded. Philosopher. Then let me ask you this. Why do you think you want to be like why? I guess you just want to be a different person, whether it's why or someone else. But what is the goal of that? Youth, you're talking about goals again. As I said earlier, it's just that I admire him and I think I'd be happier if I were like him. Philosopher, you think you would be happier if you were like him, which means that you're not happy now, right? Youth, what? Philosopher, right now you are unable to feel really happy. This is because you have not learned to love yourself. And to try to love yourself, you are wishing to be reborn as a different person. You are hoping to become like Y and throw away who you are now. Correct? Youth, yes. I guess that's right. Let's face it, I hate myself. The one who's doing the playing around with old fashioned philosophy, discourse, and who's just help doing this sort of thing, yes, I really hate myself. Philosopher. That's all right. If you were to ask around for people who say they like themselves, you'd be hard pressed to find people who'd put up their chest with pride and say, "Yes, I like myself." How about you? Do you like yourself? Youth is asking. Philosopher. At the very least, I do think I would like to be a different person. I and accept who I am. Youth, you accept who you are. Philosopher, look, no matter how much you want to be why, you cannot be reborn. You are not why. It's okay for you to be you. However, I'm not saying it's fine to be just as you are. If you are unable to really feel happy, then it's clear that things aren't right just as they are. You have got to put one foot in front of the other and not stop. Youth. That's harsh way of putting it, but I get your point. It's clear that I am not just the right way I am. I have got to move forward. Philosopher. To quote Adler again, the important thing is not what one is born with, but what use one makes of the equipment. You want to be Y or someone else, but because you are utterly focused on what you were born with. Instead, you have got to focus on what you can make of your equipment. How the world is unfair. Even when we long for fairness, the world dies on the question of creating utopia. Probably everything about us cannot be contained in utopia. The pain will always be there. The cycle of pain will create monsters. The monster will disrupt the utopia. That's something that I have been thinking, and that's something that I have written on this. I guess you're still reading and having your studying. And these are my books, and I'm studying with you, and I'm reading with you, and there for you. So just keep on reading. Do not stop, because that's what we do the best. Bye. Okay. Youth. No way, that's unreasonable. Why it is unreasonable? Philosopher is asking. Why some people are born into affluent circumstances with parents who are nice and who are born poor with bad parents? Because that's how the world is. And I don't really want to get into this sort of subjects, but things aren't equal in the world, and differences between races, nationality, ethnicity remains as deep as ever. It's only natural to focus on what you are born with. All your talk is just academic theory. You are ignoring the real world. Philosopher. It is you who is ignoring reality. Just fixating on what you are born with challenge the reality, which change the reality. We are not replaceable machines. It is not a replacement we need, but renewal. Where do I go from here? Youth. To me, replacement renewal are one the same. You are avoiding the main point. Look, there is such a thing as unhappiness from birth. Please acknowledge that. First of all. Philosopher, I will not acknowledge that. Youth, why? For one thing, right now you are unable to feel real happiness. You find living hard and you even wish you could be reborn as a different person, but you are unhappy not now just because you are self chose being unhappy, not because you were born under unlucky star. I choose to be unhappy. How can I possibly accept that? Philosopher, that's nothing extraordinary. It's been repeated ever since the classic Greek era. Have you heard the saying of no one desires evil? It's a proposition generally known as Socratic paradox. No one desires evil. Youth. There's no shortage of people who desires evil, is there? Of course, there are plenty of thieves, murderers, and don't forget the politicians and officials with their shady deals. It's probably hard to find truly good, upright persons who does not desire evil. Philosopher. What are you doing? What are you reading? Can you comment in the section and tell me what are you reading? If that book is good, I will probably read it, and I will probably have to buy it on Kindle or wherever I can buy it from, probably Amazon.in. Yes, I'm in India and I buy stuff from Amazon.in instead of Amazon.com. So, what are you reading? It sounds yummy. With question, there is no shortage of behavior that is evil, but no one, not even the most hardened criminal, becomes involved in crime purely out of a desire to engage in evil acts. Every criminal has an internal justification for getting involved in crime. A dispute over money leads someone to engage in murder, for instance, to the perpetrator. I have found a new word, perpetrator. I never heard of it. Perpetrator. Perpetrator. It is something for which there is a justification and which can be restated as an accomplishment of good. Of course, that is not good in a moral sense, but good in the sense of being of benefit to oneself. Youth, of benefit to oneself. Philosopher. The Greek word for good does not have a moral meaning, it just means beneficial. Conversely, the word for evil, kokan, means not beneficial. Our world is rife with injustices and misdeeds of all kinds. Yet there is not one person who desires evil in the purest sense of the word. That is to say, something not beneficial. Youth. What does this have to do with me? At some stage in your life, you choose being unhappy. It is because you were born into unhappy circumstances or ended up in unhappy situations. It's that you judge being unhappy to be good for you. Why? What for? Philosopher, how do you justify this? Why did you choose to be unhappy? I have no way of knowing the specific answers or details. Perhaps Perhaps it will become clearer as we debate this. Youth, you are really trying to make a fool of me. You think this passes for philosophy? I do not accept this at all. In spite of himself, the young man got up and glared at the philosopher. I chose an unhappy life because it was good for me. What an absurd argument. Why is he going to such lengths to ridicule me? What did I do wrong? I will dismantle his argument no matter what it takes. I will make him kneel before me. The young man's face flushed with excitement. Philosopher, sit down. As things stand, it's only natural that our view clash. I will now give a simple explanation as to the manner in which humans are understood in Adlerian psychology. Youth, okay, but please be brief. Sorry, it's cold out here. But the book is amazing. I hope your book is great too. Sit down. As things stand, it's only natural that our ego clash. I will now give a simple explanation to the manner in which the humans are understood in Albanian psychology. Okay, but please be brief. Philosopher, earlier you said that in any person disposition or personality cannot be changed. In Albanian psychology, we describe personality disposition with the word lifestyle. Lifestyle. Yes, lifestyle is the tendencies of thought and action in youth. Tendencies of thought and action. Philosopher, how one sees the world and how one sees oneself. Think of life as a concept, bringing together this. Taken more broadly, it is a world that encompasses the world view of that person and their outlook on life, their view of the world. Philosopher. Philosopher, say there's someone who worries about himself and says, I am pessimist. One could rephrase that to instead, I have a pessimistic view of the world. You could consider that the issue is not personality but rather the view of the world. It seems that the world personality is nuanced and suggests being unchangeable. But if we are talking about a view of the world, well then, what should be possible to alter? This is the kind of confusing when you speak of lifestyle. Do you mean a way of living, philosopher? Yes, you could put it that way. To be a little more accurate, it is way one life should be. You probably think of disposition or personality as something which you are endowed without any connection to your will. In Alderian psychology, however, lifestyle is thought as something that you choose for yourself. Youth, that you choose for yourself. Yes, exactly. You choose your lifestyle. So not only did I choose to be unhappy, but I even went so far as to choose this unwrapped personality too. Philosopher, absolutely. Youth, ha. Now you are really pushing it. When I became aware I already had this personality. I certainly does not have any regression of chosen one. But it's the same for you, isn't it? Being able to choose one's own personality at will. Now that sounds like you are talking about robots, not people. Of course, you did not consciously choose this kind of self. Your first choice was probably unconscious combined with external factors you have referred to, that is race, nationality, culture, and home environment. These uncertainty had a significant influence on that choice. Nevertheless, it is you who choose this kind of self youth. I don't get what you're saying. How on earth could I have chosen it? Aldarian psychology view is that one it happens around the age of 10. Well, for argument's sake, now I'm really going out on limb. Say that when I was 10, I unconsciously made this choice of lifestyle or whatever. Would that even matter? You can tell it personality or disposition or lifestyle, but regardless, I had really become this kind of self. The state of things doesn't change at all. Philosopher, that's not true. If your lifestyle is not something that you are naturally born with, but something you choose yourself, then it must be possible to choose it over again. Youth. Now you're saying I can choose it all over. Okay. So something very interesting in this book. If you were reading your book and I was reading mine book, let's have a conversation here. You can write down in the comment section what you have been reading and what kind of extract you just bought out of it. If you're new to English, just write whatever comes to your head and we can see your grammar later on. See, grammar doesn't matter. What matters is whether or not you are able to convey your thoughts and emotions. If you are able to convey your thoughts and emotions, it's fine. As long as you are able to do that, it's fine. It's completely fine. So what he is saying now is youth. Youth is saying, now you're saying I can choose it all over. Philosopher is saying, maybe you haven't been aware of your lifestyle until now, and maybe you haven't been aware of the concept of lifestyle either. Of course, no one can choose his or her birth. So, first, we cannot choose our birth. Being born in this country, in this era, and with these parents are things you did not choose. And all these things have a great deal of influence. You will probably face disappointment and start looking at other people's feelings. I wish I had born in their circumstances. But you can let it end there. The issue is not the past, but here in the present. And now you have learned about lifestyle. But what do you do from with it from here on? Its all from here on is in your responsibility whether you go on choosing the lifestyle you have had up till now or you chose a new lifestyle altogether. It's entirely up to you. Youth, then how do I choose again? You are telling me you choose that lifestyle yourself. You go ahead and select a new one instantly, and there's no way I can just change on the spot. Yes, you can. People can change at any time, regardless of the environment they are in. You are unable to change because you are making the decision not to. Why do you mean exactly? You know what? I we all do not have great parents. Some of us do have great parents, and touch wood that should be the thing. If that's the thing, that's great. But a lot of us do not have great parents, and we did not come selecting those parents in this world. And because of that particular reason, I think you know it's I guess you are reading. I should not disturb you in between. And we are 30 minutes in. Arts. You describe yourself as an unhappy person. You say that you want to change right this minute. You even claim that you want to be reborn as a different person. And after all that, why are you still unable to change? It is because you are making the persistent decision not to change your lifestyle. Okay, so a lot of time we say we do want to change our lifestyle. I mean, he is saying a lot of things here, and a lot of things are being said in Alderian psychology here, and we should focus on that. What exactly this person is saying? This person is saying, see this. First of all, what is happening is that you are getting born in this world and you are getting a set of parents, and those parents are going to have influence on you till the time you are 10 years old. After that, a lot of other people come into the picture and they influence your personality, and you create a personality as per your belief system, the belief system that keeps on developing since the time of your birth. And you, let's believe there are two people, A and B. A believes that I am very lucky. No matter what kind of parents I have, if I want something, I just get it. Somebody gives me on my birthday, somebody just does it for me. But that's not the belief system of B. B says that, you know what, I'm not a very lucky person. Luck just doesn't happen to me. Every time I'm thinking something, it just doesn't come. So that's something that is happening. So now these are the two belief systems. So to have these belief system, to have that kind of a life which keep on repeating this to us, that you know what, you are actually a very unlucky person, or sir, you are a very lucky person. If we want those kind of life, then we will develop a personality. Subconsciously we develop a personality that keeps on attracting that kind of a life. So that is what is happening in our lives. So if you want to get healed, you have to understand what is happening in your life. The more you are able to understand what is happening in your life, the more you will be able to heal yourself. And that is the only way to heal yourself, that is the only way to change yourself, is to observe yourself, get detached from your past, and recognize what the hell you want, and set your goal. The moment you will set your goal, and the goal is different. For example, my goal is to be happy. Happiness can be a goal. We have already done. A lot of people just decide that no matter what, I'm going to be happy. In here, in from the place where I come from India. We have a story of a Raja. Raja means king. We have a story of a king. His name was I have forgotten his name. Let's say his name was Janak. Janak. Actually, his name was Janak. So Janak was his name, and Janak had his whole palace was burning. And there was this one sage, and that sage was very worried. And the sage had come to the king, because everybody has said that if you want a teacher, go to Raja Janak. Raja Janak is going to be a teacher. King Janak is going to be a teacher. So he goes to him, and on the same day, his whole palace was burning, and Janak was just sitting there with complete peace and composition. Burning doesn't mean burning. Burning is a metaphorical word, because a lot of things were happening in his palace. So people had said that it was burning. It was burning with a lot of complexities. A lot of complex situations were happening, and they were challenging to the king. But they did not shake the king. The situations were really bad, and they did not shake the king, and that really surprised the sage, because the sage was very worried, because he was like, if I had been the king, these people would have taken my heart out. That was, I mean, some sort of situation happened, and that was the case Sage's reaction. And but when I'm seeing the king, when I'm seeing my teacher, he is so calm and composed, and he is saying that whatever is happening will come and will just go away. I will deal with it. But the calm and the composition are intact in his personality, and it seems that they are innate in his personalities. So, to have that kind of personality, you have to choose that no matter what, even if the whole thing is burning, if my whole palace is burning and I am not going to have anything left, I am not going to be a king anymore of my kingdom, and I am going to lose my kingdom, I am going to choose to be happy. And if you're going to choose to remain happy in that those particular circumstances, it is going to be really good for you guys, because you are choosing to be happy. It is going to change your personalities. Each and every time you are making this decision, life is going to give you two paths. One path which is going to be very good for you, one path which is not going to be bad, which is going to be bad for you. And it is going to make somehow that path very, you know, incentive driven to choose a negative path. And every time when you're going to choose the good path for yourself, okay, I'm getting a lot of incentives on that path, but I'm not going to go for that path. I'm going to go for something that is not giving me so many incentives, but I'm still going for that path. That is going to develop a personality in you, and that personality is going to remain happy throughout, because you are going to choose to be happy throughout your life. So that's how it happens. Now let's read. So after every 30 minutes, we can discuss a little bit about book. That is how Pomodoro method works. After every 30 minutes, we can take a little bit break of 2 minutes, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you want. You can put me on pause, and you can go and have your tea, coffee, or song, however you wanna celebrate your 30 minutes of study or reading. And then you can just go ahead and come back. Yeah. Okay, philosopher. People are constantly selecting their lifestyle. Right now, while we are having this tate tate tate, tate 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 tate. What is this word? Can you see? It is coming inverted in yours, but yeah. If you saw that word, please put that into comment section. I do not know how to pronounce it. No, don't you see, that's completely illogical. I do not want to change. That is my sincere wish. So I do want to change. That is my sincere wish. So how could I be making that decision not to? Although there are some small inconveniences and limitations, you probably think that the lifestyle you have now is the more practical one, and that it's just easier to leave things as they are. If you stay just like this, experiences will enables you to respond properly to events as they occur, while guessing the result of the one's action. What? Although there are small inconveniences and limitations, you probably think that the lifestyle you have now is the most practical one, and thus just easier to leave things as they are. If you stay like this, experience enables you to respond properly to events as they occur, while guessing the result of one's actions. Okay, so the philosopher is saying here, the philosopher is saying, although there are some inconveniences and limitations, you probably think that the life you have now is the most practical one, and that it's easier to leave things as they are. If you stay just like this, experiences enables you to respond properly to events as they occur, while guessing the result of one's action. So, you know what? sometimes we do want to change, but then somewhere we are like, we want to change, but you know what, let's change tomorrow. We do not want to change today because somewhere we are so comfortable with our today's personalities that if you are a lazy person, you do not want to just go ahead and work for, like, I have been making videos for 1 hour and it is 40 minutes in, and I am pushing today to make a video for 3 hours, and that's going to be long to sit for 3 hours. But I thought that's the demand. I mean, you should sit for at least 3 hours on any topic. If you're covering a subject, you should be able to sit for 3 hours, because in the initial stage you are just with all your doubts. For 1 hour you give your doubt, then you have to do a little bit of research, you have to create your notes and everything you have to do, and it takes at least 3 hours to be in that process and feel like, okay, you know what, I actually sat for 3 hours. I might have taken a break every 30 minutes, but I did sit for 3 hours, and that was huge. And that's the only way to get to a lot of notes and learn something that you're proud of. You know what? That's something you will be able to create. Like, you are able to excel in a skill after 10,000 hours. You are able to have some substantial notes of on any topic, and you are able to cover something substantial of any book when you have given at least 3 hours. Otherwise there's just no point. The philosopher saying, you could say it's like driving your old familiar car. It might rattle it a bit, but one can take into account and maneuver easily. On other hand, if one chooses a lifestyle, no one can predict what might happen to the new self or have any idea how to deal with events as they rise. It will be hard to see ahead to the future, and life will be filled with anxiety. A more painful and unhappy life might lie ahead. Simply put, people have various complaints about things, but it's easier and more secure to be just the way one is. Youth. One wants to change, but changing is scary. Philosopher. While we are trying to change our lifestyle, we put our great courage to the test. There is the anxiety generated by changing and the disappointment attendant to not changing. I am sure you have selected the latter. Youth, wait. Just now you used the word courage. Philosopher. Yes, Aldorian psychology is a psychology of courage. Your unhappiness cannot be blamed on your past or your environment. And it is in that you lack competence. You just lack courage. One might say that you're lacking the courage to be happy. So again, they are saying something very interesting. It is about Alderian psychology. Alderian psychology is a psychology of courage. Your unhappiness. I am going to put this quote in the comment section, and if you guys are reading something interesting, and it doesn't matter if you're reading maths and you find something interesting and then you want to put it in the comment section, just go ahead and put in the comment section. I am going to put this thing into the comment section. Let me fold this one. Your life is decided here and now. The courage to be happy. Do you need further explanation? No, hold on. This is getting confusing. First, you tell me the world is a simple place, that it only seems complicated because complications is the word I was thinking of. Because that is my subjective view is making it that way. And also the life seems complicated because I make it complicated, all of which is what makes it life difficult for to live happily. Then you say one should take stance to teleology as opposed to theology, that one must not search for causes in one's past and should deny trauma. and say that people act to achieve some goals or other instead of being creatures who are driven by causes in their past, right? Philosopher, yes. Furthermore, let me read this to you. Youth is asking, my question is, what are the real measures I should take? I should take for being happy and to change my personality and to change my lifestyle. What do I need to change my life? You haven't explained all that yet. Philosopher is saying, you are right. What you should do now is make a decision to stop your current lifestyle. So immediately stop your lifestyle. At least stop those things which are making. If you are a lazy person, start doing something. Just start making yourself productive. For instances, earlier you said, if only I could be someone like Y, I'd be happy. As long as you live that way in the realm of the possibility of if only such and such were the case, you will never be able to change, because saying if only I could be like Y is an excuse to yourself for not changing. Okay, so now it is saying that, you know what, sometimes we see other people and we say, you know what, I cannot change because that ABZ has, for example, there are two people who wants to be an actress, and the one person who wants to be an actress is saying, you know what, I cannot be actress because I do not have the face or the height for it. I do not have the height for it. But then you see other people coming in and they do not have the height and they are becoming actresses, and then they say that they are becoming actresses because they have done the jugaad for some or the other way, or they had the connections, or whatever the reason. You keep on giving excuses. So now philosopher is giving us another story to tell us how we give ourselves excuses and just do not change our lifestyles. Yes, I have a friend who dreams of becoming a novelist but who never seems to be able to complete his work. According to him, his job keeps him too busy and he can never find enough time to write novels. And that's why he can't complete a work and enter it for writing awards. But it is what the real reason. No, it's actually what he wants to leave the possibility of I can do it if I try open by not committing to anything. If doesn't want to expose his work to criticism, he doesn't want to face the reality that he might produce an inferior piece of writing and face rejection. He wants to live inside the realm of possibilities where he could say that he could do it only if he had the time, or that he could write if he had the proper environment, that he really does have the talent for it. In another 5-10 years, he will probably start using the excuse like I am not young anymore or I have got a family to think about now. I'm damn sure about one thing. If you're going to read this book, The Courage to be Disliked, one thing is going to happen for sure, that it is going to motivate the hell out of you to work and work and work on your dreams. This book is going to make you commit to your dreams. No matter what is your age, this book is going to do that for you. That is for sure. And as they are saying in this example, sometimes we do make a lot of excuses and we keep on making excuses. And we can just shut those excuses. And we can all relate to all of this, that if you have been making excuses and you have not been committed to your dreams, you know what, put that in the comment section. I will make you commit to your dreams. I will make you commit to read your books. I will make you committed to books and to dreams only. So we are 1 hour in and I read at least 10 pages. I'm proud of that. I started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 pages, not 10. I have read 7 pages. 7, that means 14 pages. 2 pages each side. So I have read 14 pages and in 1 hour 14 pages. And I have been talking to you guys as well. So that's there, and it was not. So in 40 minutes I have read 14 pages. That's my speed. We have to do something about that. Not a good speed. How many pages you have read? Can you put that into comment section? Because that's the only way it has to go forward. The more I will know about you, the more I will be able to put it into a conversation, and the more I will be able to come next more time. If you are into romantic books, you can also tell me that what, Abhilasha, we like romantic books more than self-help books. Then I will come with some romantic book for you. I have read few, not many, and that is not my genre. But you know what? Which book is this? The White Tiger. Next book is going to be White Tiger. Please be ready with it. Okay, let's read. Philosopher, he should just enter his writing for an award, and if he just gets rejected, so be it. If he did, he might grow or discover. So philosopher has a advice for his friend, the friend who is not committing to the book writing, and he is saying he should just enter his writing for an award, and if he gets rejected, so be it. If he did, he might grow or discover that he should pursue something different. Either way, he would be able to move on. That is what changing your current lifestyle is about. He won't get anywhere by not submitting anything. So just go ahead and just put forward your first foot and then put your another foot in front of that and then keep putting your feet in front of each other and then keep just walking, and after walking do a little bit of jogging and then start running. Yeah, baby. Run. Run towards your dream, guys. Run. Youth. But maybe his dreams will be shattered. Philosopher. Well, I wonder, having simple tasks, things that should be done while continually coming up with various reasons why one can't do them sounds like a hard way to live, doesn't it? So, in that case of my friend who dreams of becoming a novelist, it is clearly that I or the self that is making his life complicated and too difficult to live happily. Youth, but that's harsh. Your philosophy is too rough. Indeed, it's strong medicine. Philosopher has another advice for the guy, and he is saying that if you do change your lifestyle, the way of giving meaning to the world and yourself, then both your way of interacting with the world and behavior will change as well. Do not forget this point. One will have to change. You just so what he is saying that if you're going to change your lifestyle, if you're gonna be like, you know what, my lifestyle has been like that I wanted to do something, I wanted to write a novel and I had not been doing that. I'm just gonna fucking do it. I will fucking write that bloody novel and I will just submit it somewhere or anywhere to any publishing house, or I will just sell that novel on Amazon.com and do a hell out of marketing for it. Hell out of marketing. I don't know hell out of marketing is a term or not. I'm just made that up. And then my brain went, oh, is that a term even, Abhilash Sharma? Okay. I can relate all too well and to how he must feel. He should just enter his writing for an award, and if he gets rejected, so be it. So be it, guys, so be it. So be it. How easy it sounds, but it's going to be so shattering if the dream that you have been thinking. But you know what? That's the only way to get ahead of yourself. Otherwise everything is just going to be in your head and you will be making wrong decisions all the time. You will be waiting on your novel. People sometimes wait for 10, 20 years before writing their novel, and then they are like, you know what, we did it in our 50s or 70s or 80s, which is another amazing thing that you are doing. Because sometimes, people are like, ki what was the best time to plant the trees, and then it's in their head that, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, but the another best time to plant a tree is today, now. And that's the thing, guys, that's the thing. The best time to plant your dream, the tree of your dream is now. Just plant your dream and just change your lifestyle. That's the only way to change your lifestyle. The more you will be working towards your dreams, your great dreams, the more you will be able to, be right on your feet. You will be on your feet. You will be able to feel the reality. You will be able to be on your feet. You will be able to see what exactly the whole world is. And now I'm doing globish, I'm doing speaking gibberish. Sorry, let's just get into the book. Youth says, according to you, there's no such thing as trauma, and environment doesn't matter either. It's all just baggage and unhappiness in my own fault, right? I am starting to feel if I am being criticized for everything I have ever been and done. Philosopher, no, you're not being criticized. Rather, as Adler's theology tells us, no matter what has occurred in your life up to this point, it should have no bearing on at all on how your life, on how you live from now on. That you live in there, that you live in the here and now, and are the one who determines your own life. So your past just do not have any kind of bearing on you at all. That is what Adler's teleology has been telling us, that your past just do not have any kind of bearing. Your emotions do not have any kind of bearing. You can control your emotions. You cannot control your past, but you can control your present. You can control your future, and you can start reacting to this world in a very simple manner just by just going ahead with your dreams. Youth, my life is determined at this exact point. Philosopher, yes, because the past does not exist. He is denying the existence of past. Okay, so whatever happened, happened, right? That's why we say, okay, whatever the hell happened, happened. Now what? Now you have to move ahead. Now you have to see, you have to put your foot forward and you have to see what the hell you want to do. 1 hour has gone and you can take your 5 minutes break. I will be sitting here and reading because I have to complete my 3 hours reading. Let's see how many pages I will be able to finish in 3 hours. Yes, because the past does not exist. Youth, alright. Well, I do not agree with your theories 100%. There are many points I am not convinced about, and that I would argue against. At the same time, your theories are worth further consideration, and I am definitely interested in the learning more about Alderian psychology. I think I have had enough for tonight, but I hope you won't mind if I come again next week. If I don't take a break, I think my head might burst. Philosopher, I am sure you need time on your own to think things over. I am always here, so you can visit whenever you like. I enjoy it. Thank you. Let's talk again. Youth, great one last thing. I may your discussion today was long and got pretty tense. I guess I spoke rather rudely. For that, I would like to apologize. Don't worry about it. You should read about Plato's dialogue. The conduct and language of the disciples of Socrates are surprisingly loose. That's the way a dialogue is supposed to be. We should read Plato. Everybody is saying read Plato, read Socrates, read Aristotle. We should read them, guys. If you have read any one of them and we are done, how many pages we are in? We are done 43 pages. That's an achievement in itself. Okay, I'm getting a call from my office. I have to switch the video off. I have to go and do some work. I was working with you guys. I thought I will be able to sit for 3 hours, but I just received some work. But this video has been 1 hour long. So I hope you had a great time studying, and if you still want, you can just replay this whole video and I will be there with you. That's the magic. Bye.